Guten Abend, Guten Morgen, and Guten Tag, everyone. Man, this market still going nowhere. So yesterday bounces back into the rectangle area. Now it's still within the range. And today is gapping higher, and we'll see whether we'll get some resistance or we will see more strength coming across different sectors. No planning trades for today. Like BE and PL tools that maybe is setting up for the long side. USAR can go both way, and semis this SOXX is bouncing into the weekly 9 EMA, but the daily chart is too extended from the daily 9 and 21. Therefore, I'm hesitate to take the trade. So mainly just observing, being an observer for today. Gold and silver. Actually, I got stopped out for my first attempt, but I re-enter it also in the pre-market. I got stopped out for my entry. I think it's before the pre-market, so I'm using the overnight orders. I believe around here, and then I got stopped out at this candle right here. I re-enter it at the 50 EMA pullback on the bounce into the 50 EMA, and I entered gold first. Yeah, I entered the gold first, and then on the 15-minute breakdown, and then the silver for after gold have breaking down the 9 EMA on the 15-minute chart, and then I shorted the close below the 9 EMA, but on this candle right here. I'm actually I'm feeling pretty, how do you describe, like don't feeling much stress about on these two trades. First thing is I'm pretty confident, and the second thing is I think my entry is really nice. I really like the two entries are really good to me. So even I got stopped out, I'm happy to take the loss because I like my decision making is pretty solid for this trade. Really like it. But one thing I don't like is the market is bouncing higher, and hopefully I won't get tested by a lot during the bounce. My view on the market is still the same. I'm looking forward to I'm leaning towards the downside. But with that said, I still like the market is still really polarized. There are some stocks that are still holding up pretty well. Lots of undercut and reclaim yesterday. A lot of them are on the 50 EMA, and a lot of them are from the beaten down name. So they are now serving the rising 9, and the 9 is starting to cross above the 21. Such as this Unity is closing above the 9 EMA for the first time since its decline. So maybe it could be a short-term bottom, but I don't want to second guess. I want the market and the stocks to prove itself. One thing that I wanted to focus on is this pre-market, that the futures gap or the pre-market gap. That the Qs is bouncing into the gap of Monday, or maybe you can say it's on Tuesday, 605 level. But this one spies the 685 level, and IWM is not yet, but I think they are, you know what I mean? Like they're still below the unfilled gap. Here could be a resistance that but I have no plan to take any trades today, so I don't know. But I don't want to get panic sell before the market confirm its breakout into the resistance area. Huawei is getting a news with the partnership with Perplexity. Now it's gapping up into the hourly 21. I have lowered my stop to break even, so let's see how it plays out. IONQ has been found support into the rising 9 EMA and 21 too. We'll see. Well, Almer's taking out the 9 EMA, and the memory names are still pretty weak. I'd like to see the reaction on the 50 EMA. Crypto has been bouncing very strong. Still very extended from the 9 EMA on the weekly chart, so not going to take any trades on both the long side and the short side. Yeah, Ethereum is at the low of this channel. Nvidia is bouncing into the declining 9. as well as the gap, the 184 level. Also, the hourly 50 EMA is right there. I think it will be a really important level to focus on. 184 MicroStrategy at the clean 9 EMA, still quite far away from the daily 50. Circle is one of the strongest one. It bounces really strong, up over 110% in a month, but it's coming near into the 150 EMA. Oh, as well as the anchor VWAP from this swing high here. So I think if you're taking these EPs, like if I have taken the EP on this earnings, then I'm probably will sell some into this gap up today. Maybe I will consider like exiting the whole position today. But on the other hand, I think you can say it's also a spot to try shorting, but I think it's a little bit different from like closing your long positions to build your short position. Like for building a position, I would prefer to go a little bit higher to maybe 110. But for like selling a position, I would be a little bit more casual or aggressive. Just sometimes it won't really reach your target or really rally exactly into the resistance level. So I can give lock. It's always good to lock some profits in. SMCI is the one that is really looking good on the weekly, the daily too. But right now I have too much exposure on the short side, so I'm going to pass on this one. BE is rejecting at the 9 EMA. If I'm focusing on the long side, I don't like this price action. GV reversal on the declining 9 EMA. Not looking good at the moment. So Kills is rejecting at the after filling the gap right at the 607. Yeah, we wanted to. If I'm not that exposed, like having that much exposure on the short side, probably will considering enter the SMCI today. Nvidia is facing some selling pressure here. No, I'm not in circle. I got stopped out yesterday. But this market is right now is rewarding the pullback buy or pullback short. I think it's still having some 2025 vibe. Like the stock tends to react to the moving average or the anchor VWAP very positively. Fastly, I think is this a pullback buy? Maybe. Oh yeah, it is a pullback buy. Really nice one into the daily 9 EMA and also the anchor VWAP. The anchor VWAP level is a little bit different from the hourly chart and the daily chart, but yeah, hourly chart is much clearer. It's much clearer. This is really clean. Yeah, the South Korea ETF is actually really the parabolic top. If it can gap up higher, or the range of this candle will be a little bit wider, it will be better. But definitely the weekly candle tells everything, and the volume too. If I'm trying to breakouts, if it gaps up higher than the ADR, yes, I will. I would just consider it as an EP. But very rarely that will use the opening range breakouts to buy EP nowadays. There are too many fake outs in the opening range highs or opening range lows. So I'm probably will wait for the intraday 5-minute or the 15-minute breakout instead. And and for the gap up, I think I would treat it as an EP. So if a gap up is above all the EMAs, above the previous highs, the resistance level, the anchor VWAP, then that is a good breakout. Then that's a good EP. But definitely there are a lot of other different factors to consider in, and that's why I love trading. Like there won't be two trades that are exactly the same. Every trades are unique and independent. Like even the pattern looks exactly the same, I can still make different decisions due to other factors. Maybe the market breadth, maybe the sector strength, maybe the relative strength, or sometimes maybe I just don't like the stock. Maybe memory names are bouncing. Like if the breakout doesn't have any doesn't come with any news or catalyst, then it will be less convincing. But what I mean to like consider it as an EP is because the EP is like it is gapping up at the open. It's not being flat at the open and then go up 5% after the open. So if at the open it has already gapped up for 5%, then I would still consider entering it. But if it's flat at the open or even down at the open and then it rises up 5% after open, then I'm definitely not gonna enter it because it's I think it will be too late. What is ODFL? This I don't know about the stock, but I think for the chart, yeah, if you're bullish on the news on the catalyst, then I think it's a viable gap and treat it as an EP. Yeah, but one thing that I don't like is this gapping up into the previous high. And I think generally the first test into the previous resistance area needs more time. But who knows if the market improves? Like if it's a bottom, a short-term bottom for the markets yesterday, then maybe we'll get some follow through to the upside. So I really don't know. PE is finding support with the market. But Light is losing the 9 EMA. ASTS is following higher after the earnings. Rocktelab is still at the 50 EMA. If the market is setting up higher, I think in NAPIAS this base is really good looking. I particularly love this kind of a long base for 4 months, maybe 5 months if you're counting the October high. Or with its bouncing, taking up the opening range highs, ARM is reversing down. Like each stock is doing their thing. At the past, the individual stocks are like moving like the huskies. They're lining up and then moving in the same direction. But now the stocks are like I don't know. They are like the horses. Like they're just running freely in an open ranch or just a open grassland. If I want to enter ASTS, now it's above the anchor VWAP. Maybe the pullback into the anchor VWAP after the 9 EMA catches up. That would be great. But right now the stocks are moving really fast. Like ASTS is when it starts an uptrend, it provides you very little window to let you enter it. Maybe only 1 or 2. If you misses them, and then it just goes straight up. Like here also. So it's really hard. I don't know. Even since it's moved back in 2024, it doesn't pull back that much and then gives you a good entry, in my opinion, for my style. When it's like the liftoff of an airplane after it lifting off the ground and then it just climbs steadily, not going down again. So the market is looking pretty strong now. But the individual names are not that strong. Maybe mainly because of Amazon and Meta. So the memory names are bouncing at the 50 EMA daily, 9 EMA weekly. Today or tomorrow will be a really important day to see whether they holds up or find or gets rejected and follow to the downside. Nvidia is still pretty weak. How to trade EPs? Are there any good EPs? Maybe like AAOI? But this thing is, I think it's just went up right the way it is, like opening range highs. I don't think it's really easy to trade. For the 1 minute candle, it's like 5% to a low of day. Even if you are buying at this setting stop is at this candle low, is still 3.5%. I'm probably going to miss the opening range highs breakout. But I think maybe the second entry is this 5 minute candle breakout. Like after the initial spike after the open and the pullbacks and this into the maybe anchor VWAP. Okay, it's under the anchor VWAP, but still above this 5 minute candle low and still above the 5 minute 9 EMA. How about 1 minute? 1 minute is just below the 21. Yeah, but that doesn't really matter. It's not really important, but yeah, just a really simple rule is just buy the breakout after the pullback on the 5 minute candle on the 5 minute time frame. But this one I think is pretty lucky, and then it gets some follow through and never turns back later in the day. Sometimes like 5 minute candle breakout is the win rate is definitely lower because it's in the lower time frame. But if you're using the 15-minute candle breakout, this on AOI doesn't make any sense because this stop is just too wide. So if you really wanted to enter AOI on the EP day, I think the best entries is on the 5-minute candle breakout. I think like what I just talked about is how I study the EPs back then, like how I study the charts when I'm just doing research or just trying to test whether this entry will work or that entry is better. I'm just take some previous examples and just trading in hindsight and see whether there's any rule or any specific entry point that is giving you the lowest risk and it's easy to define. So it looks like the market is bouncing higher with the strength in cryptos too. Today Russell is weaker. Russell is weaker than the Nasdaq. Well, BE just taken out yesterday. Planet Lab is looking really nice. Double inside day at the moment. ARK is very strong today. Weekly chart, weekly bouncing at into the 9 EMA, but on the daily chart is found support on the daily 21 and 29. Really interesting. But still a lot of stocks is under the EMAs that they're just bouncing into the declining EMAs. Thinking I would like to see a little bit more strength and also a little bit more time to confirm whether the market has been improved from yesterday low. This bounce HUD is pretty strong. It's bouncing directly into the 9 EMA. Bouncing is up 12%. This AVAV is rejected at the end of the year from the earnings. Oh, it's not earnings. It's I think the Iran news. And now it's under the 15-minute 50 EMA, hourly 21. Like if it is a pretty good spot to short actually, but it's a little bit extended from the daily 9 EMA. Like AVAV shorts, I really don't know. I think it really depends. Like if I'm not that heavily shorted right now, then I may try it. I may try to take. Yeah, I think it's worth a try because the market is bouncing into the resistance, and this is one of the weakest names. But like a Monday, the selling volume is really huge. I personally think it needs maybe 1 to 2 days like to really consolidate a bit because this has went down for 30%. Probably there are some buyers stepping in. This bounce is a little bit too quick. Would like to see some consolidation for at least a day, I think. But still, I really like how the resistance is stacking up in a same level. That is what I really like. Very strong action early today. It pushes higher, filling the gap. Cues. The memory names are bouncing really strong. Yeah, but I'm going to follow my stops. I'm not going to sell it into the bounce right here. GEV is shaping up again. The things changed really quickly. It just 30 minutes passed and then everything looks differently. Given the market strength after the open, I think today I'll be watching the close. Maybe if it closes strong, then I will cut my shorts, like some of my shorts, even they don't hit my stop. And this bounce is correlated with the crypto bounce too, which strengthens its strength. One thing in my mind is the semi-sector ETF to bounce into the declining 21 and the 9. Maybe somewhere something like here. And the bounce today is a little bit weak compared to other sector. But we are getting some follow through to the upside. And now we are at the 50 and 21 EMA. Maybe I think that this market is better for day trading. So if this is a gap down and then you bought the weakness and then close into the EMAs and when it gap up, then you can sell it, short it at the open and then recover it into the EMAs. It sounds pretty possible. Actually, I'll NQ if it forms the candle, like if today's candle end up like this, then I could be along. It's the strongest quantum stocks, and this Planet Lab also looking really good. And Q's already near the 9 EMAs on the weekly. This bounce is really quick, up 3% in 2 days. And actually, ONDS is forming an inside day today. Quietly, this SOLS is serving the 21 EMA pound support. And Nvidia is getting close to the 184 level. Like there are many opportunities in both sides. It's so confusing. It's so confusing. I don't really know. AEVA. That has been a long time that I haven't heard this name. As he didn't go to 30. Fortunately, only got 222. But this is too liquid, and I wanted to close above the 21 EMA on the weekly first, and better to buy the pullback into the weekly 9 or 21 EMA after it closed above it. It will be better. The win rate would be higher. Now it looks a bit more dangerous if you're playing the long side. But I agree, like it's building a double inside day. But I do value the weekly chart quite a lot. And this USAR looks like it's fading from the resistance. Light cannot recover from the 9 EMA. Other stocks have been bouncing quite strongly, but Light surprisingly looks a bit weak today. Corning is strong. This thing is probably I think once in my scans or watch this on this gap up right here, but I think this thing is too slow, and then I just removed it. Didn't add it into the watch list. A big mistake to me. I'll be looking at NVD. I think probably no, because I'm in too many positions now. But it will be an important level to take reference on, because if NVIDIA breaks out from this 184 level, then I will consider it a pretty important breakout or a change in character. Although it's still below the 185 is the 50 EMA. Yeah, but I think it's similar. And if it closes above the 50 EMA, then I'll probably shift my focus to the long side. And this SCDG also bounces several times at the anchor figure and on the 50 EMA. And it's just going up 30% and then went down 23%. Straight up and straight down. How can you trade? How can you trade in this price actions? And now it's building a double inside day. And weekly chart is looking bullish too. Inside week, probably. Red cat is pulling back into the anchor figure, but the range is too wide. So for red cat, I think a 5-minute breakout is 2-3% stop. AHR is riding the 9 EMA. And UUUU is building a cup with handle above the 50 EMA. Mara is breaking out after the 9 have crossed above the 21. This is the first time since this huge downtrend, so worth taking notes. This battalion is coming down. Probably can't trade this one. IREN. I think this Wednesday this candle is the best opportunity. Right now I don't know. It's also now at the 150 EMA at this gap level. Daily 21. But I don't know. A rally there. I was short a one day bounce into the declining EMA. Generally, there will be like maybe 2 to 3 days at least. But sometimes there will be a really quick one, like a quick bounce into the 21 and then quickly reverses down and close below all the EMAs, or maybe even closing red. But they are rare. They're not happen. They don't happen really commonly, and not really, because this is the earnings for the gap down. Yeah, you can say that. That's why I'm not I'm still holding my shorts and not taking any longs at the moment, because it's still under the EMAs, and given the choppy nature of this market, I won't. And also last December, when I keep flipping from longs and short, flipping between longs and short, I think it could easily kills your performance. So right now I'm just trying to stay on one side as long as possible and wait for more confirmation. Memory names is looking pretty strong, bouncing pretty strong. Weekly, it looks like an undercut of the 9 EMA. So yeah, I'm just going to watch the price actions of the day. And that's it for today. Thanks all for coming. See you in the next one.